Before we even start this video, I got me a Palo Santos. Let's go ahead and light this. Let's clear the energy. Let's clear the space. Because there has been a lot of unfortunate events that I have gone through in the past, I would say, year. And it's time that we start changing that. So a little ASMR. I'm going to do it in Spanish, but I'm also going to translate it in English. Vamos a hacer una limpieza. We are going to be doing a cleanse. Con el Palo Santos. With our Palo Santos. Let me open up the other window. We are going to cleanse our space of all negative energy. We do not welcome negative energy or ill intent. They are not welcome in our sacred space. My mother, she would do this. When I was younger, she would get a pot and put it on the stove, and she would mix a whole bunch of different herbs. And she would do a cleansing. People have their own different ways of looking at it, like a doormat. Some people have a doormat in front of their door because so that people can, wipe their feet and wipe all that like outside stuff before you enter somebody's space. In my culture, it's a sign of respect to be mindful of just the house that you're in. So I grew up in a family that we saged, we did Palo Santos. It was very much a part of our culture. We would burn different herbs just to cleanse the space. So when I do this, I feel like I'm honoring a tradition that, I asked my mother about that. I was like, why do you do this? And she was like, well, my mother would do this. And I'm like, wow. So that's something I know about my grandmother. I've never gotten to meet her. She passed before I ever got to meet her, way before I was born. But it's something that stuck out to me. So the smell is familiar. It feels comforting to me. And I haven't been doing it in a while, and I feel very off balance. So on top of that, if you're a Latina or Latino or whatever, and you know about this, if you're Caribbean, you know about Agua Florida, Florida water, you already know. Let me tell you something. Nothing makes me feel more protected than this, because I remember this was like the miracle cure for everything. I was sick. My mother would take Vicks Vapor Rub, and she'll take the Agua Florida and she'll put it on my forehead and on the back of my neck. And she would just like, I don't know, when I was, I don't know, it felt like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Just me personally, whenever I smell this, I'm like this. Okay, everything is going to be good. My mother pulled out the Agua Florida. Everything is going to be good. So having this and finding this has been everything to me. People have told me, what is that smell? And I'm like, if you know what that smell is. Agua Florida. Matter of fact, let's go ahead. People are going to be like this. Ay, Dios mío, ¿qué ella está haciendo? What is she doing here? She's pulling out all of this stuff. Like, what's happening? What is she about to say? Oh, child. I'm about to spill it over the tea. Spill it over the tea. I think it's about time. I think it's about time that we spill the tea. Okay, let's put that in my truck. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot brighter about this. I don't feel like, I'm going to go into this with fear. So you're probably like, first and foremost, where's your manners? Bendiciones, all right. Bendiciones, sorry. I know that this video started off very unorthodox, but welcome to a new era. The tea that I'm about to spill is just so, I've had mixed emotions about it. I have had mixed emotions, and now that I feel like things are moving, I feel like I can speak on this freely from a place of, yes, I've conquered it. You know, like that Rocky moment where I get up the stairs and it's like, ooh, bomb right there, like boom, boom, boom. And things are happening, you know, things are happening for me. So it's exciting, it's thrilling, but then on the other hand, I feel so worried and scared because I'm like, if I lose it all, I have no one else to blame. Like, that's it. Like, this is me. Like, I have no other option. Like, I don't know how to explain to you the feeling of existing in this world, knowing that there's no other option. The failure is not an option. So every time you experience something that feels like a failure, I've had to constantly be the one who was there for myself and tell myself, no, girl, you got this. Keep trying. Don't give up. You have to pull yourself through. You have to pull yourself through. You have to suck it up. I know it hurts. I know you want to cry. I know you want to have a tantrum. I know you want to throw yourself on the floor. I know you want to scream off the top of your lungs to the universe and say, when are you going to stop? When am I going to receive that break? Everything is riding and everything is just depleting, you know, when everything around you feels like you have nothing, right? When you feel like you have nothing or you perceive that you have nothing, life and my circumstances has had to force me to really, really count my blessings and walk in gratitude. Walk in gratitude and truly, truly know what that means. How do I say this? Throughout this whole journey, I feel like I've brought y'all along every step of the way. And I know that lately you guys have seen that whenever certain topics are brought up, I get maybe defensive, or I dismiss it, or I don't acknowledge it. And because I've called myself totally transparent here, to some it looks like, well, what are you not saying? I've been struggling with this behind the scenes, and I've dealt with a lot of backlash of people who have followed my journey telling me, well, you're not applying yourself hard enough, or I'm just trying to help. And I'm talking about the job search. I know that on camera it may look like I have my head in the stars and I'm just hoping and wishing on a prayer that this big, massive opportunity is going to fall on my lap. And yes, I still do believe that. But I also am not naive. I'm not some little girl who doesn't know the severity of my situation. I've dealt with it. I've lived with it and I've sat with it. And I understand that my survival is based on me being able to support myself. And as much as I love YouTube, as much as I love all my social media platforms because it's created this family, I have always been fully aware that it's not paying the bills. And I cannot sustain my life like this anymore. I've been applying to jobs like It ain't nobody's business. Indeed, Snag a Job, and then going personally to the websites. I've been on 18 interviews. 18 interviews since I've been here in California. 18 interviews. I don't know how to tell you what that feels like. The last thing you want to talk about is, hey guys, I went on another interview. I feel like I'm going to get it. The interview was great. I feel like I aced it. I didn't do much with my makeup, and I made sure my hair was like this. And, I presented myself well. I did research on the company, and yeah, I could do it. To then not get the call back, or to get the call back and say that they went with somebody else. It's been very discouraging. And I've dealt with that in silence, and I've dealt with the backlash of me dealing with that in silence. And I just want to put this out there for anyone in your life that you may know that is struggling with finding employment. I hope that no one ever has to experience a moment where they don't know where the money is going to come from. It doesn't feel well. It doesn't matter who you are or what life circumstances. It doesn't feel well, and it doesn't sit well. And it puts one in survival mode when you don't know where the money is going to come from, how you going to make ends meet, and you struggling. You're struggling. And I've publicly struggled. I have shared the good, the bad, and the ugly here on my platform and on my channel to sort of humanize and show you that homelessness and circumstances is not a one size fit all. We all have something going on, and maybe in just sharing my humanity and my experience, I can give an insight perspective of a woman in crisis, in survival mode, who's out here. So I'm out here, physically out here in California, a truck that could not, that and should not have made it. And I'm still, the odds still feel stacked up against me. But I have never given up despite everything. Despite everything, I sat here and I said, no, girl, what's the point of you coming all the way over here to give up? Giving up is not an option. Pity parties were never allowed to me. Going to the beach at 3:00 in the morning is because I was sitting up here worried, sick to my stomach. How am I going to make this all possible? How? The odds are so stacked up against me. But still, every single interview I went to, I sat back and I bashed myself. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said really, really horrible things to myself. I said, well, maybe if you look like this, or maybe if you lost weight, I don't know if anybody else who struggled with looking for employment has felt this way. When you go to an interview and they don't call you back, or they call you back and they say they don't go with you, you sit there and you think, well, what was it about me? Like, what was it about me? Like, just please tell me so I could change it. And it feels terrible to feel like you have to change yourself. I'm playing pick a girl. Every single interview, I'm just bashing myself, and I'm going in a different look. I'm like, okay, well, no eyeliner this time. No makeup. Just mascara. Maybe a different wig. Maybe if you do the up and down. Maybe if you wear your natural hair. Maybe if you straighten it. I've dealt with that on my own, and I've struggled with it. It feels so worthless. And I'm like, girl, failure is not an option, As my last resort, I was about to go to a place that I thought I was never going to have to go back to. And I tried. I know that a lot of people were curious about that. They're like, girl, did you go back? Like, what's up? And I'm like, yo, I went back. I went back to that place, and sitting in that booth and smelling all the smells and seeing how they all look the same, like, it brought me back to a really bad place. A really, really bad place. And I've been struggling with that, and I didn't want to go back there. But I knew I wasn't in the position to turn down a job. And literally, as I was giving up, I got a phone call. I got a phone call, and it was for a job. And even though I didn't feel confident, I went and I told myself, girl, just be yourself, just shine, whatever. If they don't get you, so what? But just be yourself, say what's on your mind, stand in your truth, just go for it. I did my makeup with a color liner. I put on a cute skirt and outfit, and I went. And I looked at the other girls waiting online for the same job and the way they were dressed. And I sat there and I said, you know what, Michelle? Be kind to yourself, okay? Yeah, you don't got dunks and you don't got, the latest fashion. And yeah, you're not wearing this or that, or it doesn't matter if you don't look like them. You standing in the line just like they are. They need a job just like you need one. So they in the same place. It don't matter how they look. And I stood there in my truth and I went there. I went to that job interview. And I was laughing and I was bubbly and I was just myself. And I left that job interview not knowing if I was going to get a call back. But the one thing she said to me that stood out to me out of all the other people that interviewed me, she said, no matter what I decide, I'll give you a phone call. 2 days later, she asked me, this is all last week. 2 days later, she asked me, well, I would like to invite you for a second interview. Are you able to come such and such date? And I said, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I sat there, I pondered on my outfit, and I said, you know what? Really, really embrace who you are. I put on that blue skirt and the shirt that says Espérate 3 times, that's cropped, some hoop earrings, and I went. There was 5 other girls there for the second interview. And because it was hot outside, they put us inside of the lobby. In the lobby, I took it as an opportunity to get to know these girls, and I had conversations with them, and we spoke about a lot of things. And the one thing that stood out about that was that they all wanted to hear what I had to say. It was the first time that I realized that what I have to say holds value and interest to people. That my opinions and how I see things are worthy. I felt special. And I felt privileged in that moment to have taken the time to get to know those girls. They were no longer my competitions. They were women that, from all different walks of life, we were all there for the same reason, just in different shapes. And I wanted us all to get the job. I was like, it would be awesome if we all just walk out with this job. And I was the last girl online. And when I went in, I was going to meet the owner and the manager. When I went in, I was nervous. Here I am with a flowy skirt, and I'm over here zhuzhing it and flaring it out and sitting in the seat. And he's like, so what do you do? I said, well, to be honest, I have an online presence. They mostly like when I cook. I'm a pretty good cook. It's like, well, what do you cook? And I said, well, I'm a Caribbean girl through and through, so I'm more like a plátano maduro, pastelón, arroz con gandules, pernil, and I start listing a whole bunch of things. And he's like, wait, you know Spanish? And I was like, you don't read the shirt? It says, espérate, like, wait a minute. I'm full of surprises. And he was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. So he was like, how old are you? I said, I'm 31. It's like, okay, mature. I said, that amongst many things. He was like, okay, so how's your sofrito game? And I was like, sofrito? What you know about sofrito? He's like, I'm Puerto Rican. And I'm like, oh. Okay. Okay. I see what we doing. So he's like, so if it's okay with her, I would like to offer you a job. When I tell you my heart fell to my booty hole, I stood there and I felt the, like this, and I had to hold it back because I didn't want to scream it. I was like this. I was like, you don't know how happy. I instantly felt like a weight lifted off of me. Now, something about this job that you guys don't know is that I have no experience working, and every other girl had experience working in this particular field. I had no experience. I was upfront with them and I said, I'm a people person. I've worked in customer service. I've never worked in this capacity, but I have a general interest in it. And they gave me the opportunity. Yesterday, I had my 3rd day of training. And today, I go in to bring in my paperwork. And I told you guys that everything was going to make sense. I got a job working at a dispensary. And they sent me home with a goodie bag of cannabis products. And they told me to try out the products so that I have a better idea on how to sell the products. So when I said I didn't pay for the cannabis, when I didn't pay for that flower, I meant it. I didn't. My job gave me that. And I can say that. It may have taken 18 times to get here. And you're probably like, girl, 18 times? Yeah, I got the screenshots. Every time I got an interview and I got an alert for an interview and they send you a confirmation, I took that screenshot and I looked at that list and I looked back at that job and I would relive every single interview. And I was like, really, since I've been here 5 months, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I would beat myself up about it. But just when like all hope was about to be lost, your girl said, espérate. That's not how we going down. We not going down like that. We not. I's got me a job. I have a job. And I did it all by myself. Just when I thought. Just when I thought. Who does this insignificant girl from Brownsville, Brooklyn, with no formal education to speak of, who does she think she is to dream such a dream? I felt like nobody was hearing my voice. Nobody was hearing my silent screams. And even though I felt like I was screaming out to the moon so that the heavens can hear my cries, I might as well been an ant screaming because I felt like nobody was hearing me. But I never gave up. And now I have a foundation to rebuild myself better, stronger, more self-aware. I know my strength. I know my drive and my determination. And now I know that I can do it being completely 110% of myself, unapologetically. That I can stand in a room of thousands and still shine. I feel like I'm actually walking on the other side. Turn on the dramatics for a job, but it's been so long. This feels like the biggest exhale of my life. I feel like I'm able to take a deep breath. Oh. I feel so happy to get that out of the way. Oh. Girl. You want to know what's the cute thing about it? A wish of mine came true. I wanted, in that moment where I was talking to the girls, I wanted us all to get the job. And the second interview was just a disguise. He offered us all the job. So it was a win for all of us. And when I found that out, I thought of every single girl and every single story that was shared with me in that little circle. And I thought, wow, if they have experienced anything in the slightest of what I have experienced in this moment of realizing that I got this job, imagine how many other girls, I was the last girl, how many other girls sat in that same seat, and how that must have felt having somebody tell them, you got it, you did it. You can breathe easy now. So, there. The tea is spilt. The cat's out of the bag. Your girl is on her way to hand over paperwork, her W-2 form. And this starts a new chapter of my life. It starts a new chapter of my life. This starts a new chapter of my life. I ain't gonna lie to you. Am I still scared a little bit? Of course. Of course. With anything that's new and unknown, it's scary and it feels uncomfortable. And you're like, that little doubt monster is still sitting in my guts and it's telling me, what if you lose it? What if this? What if that? And it's like, well, we live in a world full of what ifs. So what if you don't lose it? What if they offer you a manager position? What if this is just a stepping stone and this newfound opportunity opens up other doors? What if this is just phase one? What if this is just one of many blessings? So in a world full of what ifs, I can no longer live in a world of what if something bad. Because we live in a world of what if something good. So I choose to look at it in the good. And your girl is feeling cute or whatever. And that's why lately y'all been seeing me joyful. I've been documenting it on the camera, just the first day, the second day. And look, like the little stickers that I get at work, and I get all this cannabalated products, a little grinder that matches my nails. They gave me this little grinder that matches my nails. Your girl is a working woman. The cat is out of the bag. The cat is out of the bag. Girl, you feel so naughty. Is this an early celebration? No, this is a long overdue celebration. A long overdue celebration because your girl did that. I did that. She did it. Lo hicimos. We did it. We did it. Yeah. Your girl pulled the Dora moment at the last minute. She said map. She said guide. She said boots. Where are you? And this happened. So now, of course, I'm going to give you like more in-depth detail, but I will do that in a separate story time. I will give you all the tea, everything, like super, super excited. But with that being said, I got to handle business. So I love you guys for watching. And for anyone who is struggling or feeling like they've been trying and still nothing's sticking, still they can't seem to get a leg up on life, I'm here to tell you that, baby, I know it sucks. Oh my God, it sucks when everybody outside is saying, how could you still not? How do you still not? How do you still not have your life together? And you feel this pressure and you're like, I feel like a failure. I feel like everybody's judging me. And any little thing that you do, any little money that you spend, you feel like the world is shining a microscope on you and is saying, should you be doing that? And you're like, why not? And I know that feeling sucks. And I know you want to give up. And trust me, I have a long list of no's. But that's just how the world is. You might hear 1,000 no's, but all it takes is that one yes. It took 17 no's, but all it took was one yes for me. One. Stop looking at the number. Stop beating yourself up. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Stand in your truth. Stand in the struggle. Stand in the ugliness. Allow yourself to feel rock bottom. But don't allow it to keep you encapsulated and trapped. You walk through the muck. You walk through the uncomfortability. You walk through the doubt. And you know what helps you walk through it? The faith in yourself and the inner knowing that as long as you're living, breathing, thriving, you are in control of the trajectory of your life. So, to that, we're going to drink up all the abundance, all the prosperity, all of the ushering in a dawn, an era of just change. Change. Long overdue, long over needed, but I'm here on the other side. So with that being said, I love you guys. I love you. 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 But with that being said, we've seen all the comments, all the things that were thrown my way that were not nice as I silently struggled with this. And just like the little red hen, I don't know if you read that book where the little red hen was like, oh, I'm in the mood to break some bread, to bake it. And she asked the cat, she asked the dog, she asked the chicken. I mean, not the chicken. She asked the cat, the dog, and the mouse or something like that. If they wanted to help her make the bread, if they wanted to help her cut the wheat, to grind it, to bake it, none of them wanted to help her, right? None of them wanted to help her. But then at the end, when she baked that bread, they all wanted to eat. I'm not saying that about this situation. But all I'm saying is, I silently dealt with this, right? And all the people that said those not nice comments, I hope that you never have to experience this. You want to know why? Because then you also won't get to experience the joy that radiates through your body when you sitting and someone just handed you a golden ticket. You feel like the luckiest girl in the world. So I would rather sit in the muck and rather deal with the hate. And I'd rather deal with a million people telling me, no, you can't do it. Because, oh boy, does it feel great when you stand in your truth and say, yes, I can. And I did it. I did it. Me. Got your girl standing a little taller. Hello. So, bye. I love you. I love you. That's it. I ain't got really anything else to say. I gave it all. Ew. Did I accomplish something? I sure did. I sure did accomplish it. Three days of training. 3 days. 3 days. Three days. All right, guys. That being said, I'm going to go handle business. And I love you guys. I love you guys. And let this be the change that we all needed. Like, I'm not the camper girl anymore. And I know that a lot of people fell in love with me. But we got to let go of that camper girl. And I'm not the girl in the truck. I'm not any of those things. I'm a woman determined and going after her dream. My dream is no longer a dream. It's a goal. And I know that there's necessary steps to achieve that goal. And this is just one of many steps. But I'm going to continue to walk up that ladder and up those stairs, because when I have my rocky moments, they feel like such a great victory. Like, the exhalation of it all. Oh my God, the escalation of it all. Like, feeling like you have had the weight that has been on your shoulders completely taken off. I feel so light like a feather. I feel so light like a feather. I'm like this. Great. Finally, you gotta love the way I feel about it. You just can't get enough. If you only knew the way I feel about you, I get excited. No. Finally, it's happened to me right in front of my face, and I just cannot hide it. I'm going to listen to that song as I go to my job to drop off my paperwork or whatever. Just casual things that you do now that you're employed. And I got to go to the DMV because now that I'm employed, I got to make sure that my car is not taken away and that my baby is good, because if my baby's not good, then... But we're not worried about that. You see what I'm saying? We're not worried about those things. What we worried about is one step at a time, one moment at a time, and we are conquering the day. So let's put a little spray. And let's go about our day. Oh no, did I not bring it? Espérate, hold on. Let me make sure I have my mind about me. Okay, there. I'm sitting on such a euphoric high. Like, I feel like so proud of myself. Okay, no, espérate. What was I looking for? Oh, I could just put that all in this. Girl, start thinking smart. All right, guys. I love ya.